Imagine a place where the very walls whisper tales of horror and despair. That is Abu Ghraib prison. Situated in the heartland of Iraq near Baghdad, Abu Ghraib was initially established as a correctional facility. Here, local criminals were held, serving sentences for their transgressions against society. This was its purpose, its function, its identity. But as the winds of conflict swept across the nation, Abu Ghraib's identity was forcefully altered. With the advent of the Iraq War, the U.S. military seized control of the prison. A correctional facility intended to enforce law and order was abruptly transformed into a military detention center. It was a shift as drastic as it was disconcerting. The walls, once witnesses to the punishment of local criminals, now bore silent testimony to a new narrative. One of fear, of uncertainty, and of unimaginable suffering. Yet, as the prison transitioned from a house of correction to a military detention center, the echoes of its dark past grew louder. The year 2004. A scandal so shocking it shook the world. A torrent of disturbing images flooded the media, revealing the dark underbelly of the Abu Ghraib prison. These were no ordinary photographs. They exposed a grotesque tableau of abuse and torture of Iraqi prisoners, perpetrated by none other than members of the U.S. military personnel. The world sat in stunned silence, then erupted in outrage. News outlets across the globe broadcasted these horrifying images, sparking waves of anger, disbelief, and calls for justice. From the east to the west, the outcry was deafening. The world demanded answers, they demanded accountability. How could those who swore to uphold justice so brazenly defy it? The veil was lifted, revealing the grim reality of what had become of Abu Ghraib. A place that was once a symbol of liberation had morphed into a chamber of horrors. The world watched in disbelief as the scandal of the century unfolded. In the aftermath, the spotlight was firmly cast upon the U.S. military's history of human rights violations. This exhaustive scrutiny extended from the fortified walls of Abu Ghraib and reached across the globe. From the scarred landscapes of Iraq to embattled territories of Somalia, from the rocky terrains of Afghanistan and beyond, the U.S. military's fingerprint was unarguable. A tidal wave of inquiries across the nations, determined to reveal the full extent of the abuses and bring the perpetrators to the court of justice. The fallout of these revelations tarnished the U.S. military's image. The lasting impact of these transgressions became a symbol of the darker aspects of warfare, and an enduring reminder of the ongoing crusade for justice. As the dust of the controversy began to settle, the wounds from these violations remained, standing as a stark, persistent reminder of the ceaseless struggle for justice. Yet the echoes of Abu Ghraib persist, a haunting reminder of the human rights violations that occurred within its walls. The scandal brought to the forefront a critical question: how could such atrocities happen under the banner of freedom and democracy? It's a grim irony that forces us to take a hard look at what we stand for as a society. The ethical implications of Abu Ghraib are far-reaching. They compel us to question the integrity of the systems we are in, the values we uphold. We are faced with the undeniable truth that human rights are blatantly disregarded, and the dignity of individuals still trampled underfoot. But the story shouldn't end there. We need justice for every individual impacted by the United States military and government, and still are to this day. After nearly 20 years, we still wonder, what happened to those accountable for such a horrific events? And how do we ensure that such horrors of Abu Ghraib are not taking place now under other names and locations? So I ask you, what is the first thing comes to your mind when you hear Abu Ghraib? Share it with us in the comments section.